Members of the Governing Board, Dr. Glasper, Dr. Bustamante, Associate Dean Liddycote, faculty and staff of Rio Salado College, honored guests, members of our community, fellow graduates. Welcome and good evening. It is a privilege to have the honor to address you at this much-awaited special event. I stand here today and I look back at all the moments when I thought for sure that life would get the best of me. I now raise my head proudly, knowing that I can and will succeed in anything that I put my mind to. "11 years ago, my older brother, my best friend, and my confidant was hit by a drunk driver. The one who encouraged me to succeed died, and in my grief, I dropped out of school. A year later, I found myself pregnant at the age of 16. I had never been around an infant before, and now I was having one of my own. The disappointment from family and the scrutiny from friends were hard to bear, but I held my head high and did what I thought was right. 8 months later, I brought my son into this world. Ironically, the baby kept me from going down a path of self-destruction. Not long after that, I discovered I was pregnant again, this time with a beautiful baby girl. 7 years ago, my son was diagnosed with autism. I was 19 years old at the time and devastated, to say the least. The doctors told me not to expect too much, but I couldn't accept that. I held on to the belief that both of my children could grow up to be anything that they put their minds to. I held on to that belief because it was all that I had left. I fought hard for my son, and after memorizing the Parents' Rights booklet, I got him into every program that I possibly could. I worked with him every single day and even got my daughter to work alongside of us. 7 years of pushing my children to their absolute limits, years of determination, hardships, and slow but steady progress, I can now say that my son went from being on the low-functioning end of the autism spectrum to the high-functioning end. So, one day back in September, my children and I began a discussion about the importance of an education. In the middle of this discussion, my daughter said that she didn't want to go to college, and my son quickly agreed with her. When I asked them why they thought this way, you know what? They explained to me that I had never gone to college, that I had never even gotten my high school diploma, and that I had managed to do all right in providing for both of them. Wow. I suddenly realized that I could not sit there and be a hypocrite. If I wanted my children to continue succeeding in their lives, if I wanted them to grow up knowing they can be whatever they wanted to be, just like I know they have the ability to do, I must first lead by example. The very next day, I called Rio Salado College to inquire about the College Bridge Pathways classes. The prospect of going back to school after 10 years was terrifying. Still, I attended the Student Success Seminars and afterwards the GED classes. I developed a routine. I'd walk my children to school, and then I'd walk home and get myself ready for school. I caught the bus to Rio Thomas. I absorbed as much information as I could, and then I caught the bus home at the end of class. Each day, I was greeted with welcoming smiles and words of encouragement from the entire staff. I can honestly say that it was because of that constant, positive reinforcement that I decided I was ready to take the actual GED test. I am pleased to report that today, both of my children make straight A's on the report cards. My daughter is at the top of her class in all activities, and the little boy that so many doctors told me not to expect too much out of is now in mainstream classes and has made the honor roll. On top of that, I passed each and every test and received my GED diploma in the mail. When I pulled it out of the envelope and saw for the first time my name under the word diploma, I will never be able to accurately describe the rush of pride and relief that overwhelmed me at that moment. My children and I have had another discussion about the importance of an education following this victory. Only this time, my children were only too happy to tell me that they wanted to go to college, just like Mommy. I am proud to say that I have since entered Rio's ACE program. I've put my nose to the books. I'm absorbing as much information as I can. I'm pushing my own limits, and I'm laying a foundation for a career that I can build on for the rest of my life. And at the same time, I am inspiring my children to do the same. I believe that all of us would like to thank a few specific people, but it could take a while to do that. Truly, everyone at Rio Salado has done more than could ever be expected in enabling our dream to come true. It's because of your guidance, your knowledge, and your insights that we realize that any obstacle can be overcome, any challenge can be achieved, and any dream can be fulfilled. So we ask you, please keep an eye on us, this class of 2013. We will make you proud of all that you've done to enable us to be here tonight and to move forward with tomorrow. Class of 2013, we've achieved so much. And we need to not only thank our teachers and our leaders for helping us reach this goal, but we need to thank ourselves for going beyond what we thought were our own limitations. Please join me in well-deserved recognition towards our efforts and accomplishments.